Today, I want to leave you with a new way of imagining yourself. See, I don't think the biggest threat to our future is AI. I think the biggest threat is our inability to imagine the future. Studying past collapses and successes leaves me with a couple of questions, like how come Netflix made it so good while Blockbuster couldn't make it? Why did Facebook take over the world, but MySpace, who was first, collapsed? And how come Spotify saw the future and invested in it, and record labels chose to fight it instead? None of these companies lacked resources, talent, data, distribution, anything. They had everything to succeed, but they failed. I'm going to talk about that today. And there will be some hard pills to swallow on this presentation. And one of them will be that AI is about to redefine everything. It's going to redefine our definitions of words, tasks, opportunities, occupations, politics, education. Anything you can imagine will be redefined by AI. Throughout each of these transformations our species has been through, I managed to identify 3 things that always happens. It's 3 steps. One is we have to redefine our tools. Then we redefine the behavior. And finally, we redefine ourselves. Interesting enough, almost every self-inflicted collapse has happened because we failed to do step 3, redefine ourselves. And that's a hard thing to do, because the natural thing is, oh, there's a new tool. Let's try that, we redefine that. But it's always, we live in this instance where we think that, oh, but I don't need to redefine myself. And I'm going to talk about it from a perspective that I'm very comfortable in, and that's the digital era. Since we got internet, we've been through something I call different streaming eras, where we've been able to stream different things. And each streaming era came with a transformation that made new companies succeed and old companies fail. Initially, we had the opportunity to stream information. Now, with information, we had, search engines, so you can go in and you can search stuff. But it wasn't a wild take to think that this might not be the future, because you needed this big, chunky, stationary computer that almost took up a whole room, or you had to go to the library just to use a computer, and you're in the library, you can just read a book, right? You're already there. But what we notice is the more we use things, we get this exponential growth, and it moves faster, especially in tech. And suddenly, we have it in our pockets. Even though my teacher said you will never have a calculator in your pockets, I have it now. Because technology moves quickly. And now Google is finishing my sentences before I even finish it. That's how it works. It becomes better and better. Moving forward, we started streaming inspiration. With social media, we could democratize attention. And this was huge for mankind. Yet we try to think about the negative sides, but imagine that anyone with a voice could be heard. If they said something that resonated with enough people, they could build platforms and talk about it. There was never an option before. And people say, but social media is like, because you get these filter bubbles, right? Because people see that and they interact with something, and then everything they see is that, and that's not good. That's not good. But we like to think about technology from a perspective of utopia. But we never had a perfect world where we didn't have filter bubbles. That did never exist. Me growing up, whatever my parents said, what they believed in, what they thought, translated to me. I was like, oh, that sounds good. That's what I know. Traditional media, they said that this person is an expert. Listen to that person. He's unbiased. And you're like, yeah, maybe it makes sense because I don't know any other perspective. If anything with social media is open up the world to stream inspiration in real time. Any conflict happening anywhere in the world, you can look at it from both perspectives. You can go down a rabbit hole like, okay, but what do they think? What do they think? And with accountability, you can also decide and be like, maybe this is my opinion. That's the power of technology. We democratize attention, we democratize things. And MySpace, when they started, They built it customizable banners and profiles, and you could do it anything you want. It was very noisy because they needed those display ads to make that money. So when Facebook came, they made it very aesthetic, less noise. There was nothing like that. And people want a good experience, so they went to Facebook. Now, if MySpace wanted to redefine themselves, because we redefine the tools, how we communicate and the behavior, where we chat, but if they wanted to redefine themselves, they would lose money. And that's a really hard thing to convince a board member, right? So they didn't do that, and Facebook took over. Moving forward, we see with content, we could stream content in real time, movies, music, audiobooks. And in the beginning, I know now people here be like, yeah, but that's an obvious choice, right? But it wasn't the obvious choice, because in the beginning there was a lot of issues. It was the copyright, it was low quality, it was buffering, it wasn't good enough. Not everyone actually believed in a future where you could seamlessly just look at it through a phone wherever you are. It was really hard to imagine. The future don't kill companies. The future demands a version of yourself that you're usually not willing to become. And that's what happens. So when Blockbuster, they were the big dogs back then, and back in the days, they saw the vision, they saw it, the CEO pitched it, we should go to streaming, but they also knew that when you rented DVDs, and you had to return it within a set time frame, if you didn't return it, it cost money. And 70% of their profit came from late fees. So distribution meant streaming it meant they can't take money for that. How are they going to make money? They didn't think about redefining themselves. They had an opportunity to buy Netflix at a ridiculously low amount. Now, in hindsight, they didn't do it. Blockbuster went bankrupt, and Netflix is making a TV show about them. Make it make sense, right? And Spotify did the same thing with music. And I'm not here taking sides. I want to be super clear. I'm not saying like, oh, it was better before when artists were making more money with CDs, or it's better now when you can explore and find new artists thanks to streaming. I'm not taking sides. I'm just simply saying it's inevitable. As soon as we open that Pandora's box, we're doomed. Like, this is the future. It's going to happen, and we need to find a way to control it and not let it control us. It is an inevitable future because tech moves with an exponential growth. But we are so privileged. It's so hard for us to see that because we tend to see things from our geographical and contextual perspective that limits us so much. So I coined the term, I call it artificial privilege. I think that we here, especially in the Western world, we live with this artificial privilege that when we talk about AI, it might take my job and because we have a very good life here. And we're afraid of new things because of that. And the thing is, before we go to that, we have to understand that survival instinct is the thing that makes us afraid. Because the survival instinct, that's the thing that makes us be like, hey, wait a second. I'm afraid of new things because I haven't seen it before. So you see an animal you've never seen before, you don't go and just hug it because you tread with caution. It's like, how does this animal react? And that's in our DNA. That's why we've survived for so long as a species. But that's also why xenophobia still exists. Because we are afraid of new things. We need to understand it, learn it, and then it makes sense. And I believe back in the days, like I wasn't there, but I can imagine like thousands of years ago, right? Someone saw lightning hit a tree and it started a fire, and like, that would be so great if we could control fire. Because then we can do things. We can keep ourselves warm. We can scare away predators. We can cook food with it. And I guess that's the first person that tried to do that might have burnt down their village and another village until they understood how to control it. But when they did, we as a species moved so quickly and evolved. It's scary in the beginning, and there will be mistakes in the beginning. But we need to look past it and be visionaries and see the next step. And we're entering the stage right now. You might think everyone is talking about AI, but we're literally in the beginning of this era where we stream intelligence in real time. You can talk to an LLM and you can tell it, hey, give me 10 ideas on how I market my company on TikTok. And I know people be like, yeah, but it's not good enough. It is though, because it's exponential growth. It's gonna get better. AI will never be as bad as it is today. It's gonna get better and better. And I want to argue that it's actually good enough. Because You ask an AI, you're like, hey, give me 10 ideas. 1 out of 10 might be good. You ask me, 7 out of 10 might be good, because I'm really humble. But the thing is that I'm also way more expensive. I'm not available 24/7, and I'm not as consistent. So you can do it with AI. You can say, give me 10 more, 10 more, 10 with a better hook, 10 with a better call to action, 10 based on pathos, 10 based on ethos, 10 based on whatever. And until you have 10 great ideas, every time you take one good, you have 10 ideas. If you do that to me, 10 more, 10 more, I'm blocking you. They say AI doesn't have empathy. I don't have empathy. I'm sorry. And that's the difference with it, because it's so consistent that you can keep asking more, and you can fine-tune your prompts and become better and better and better. But still, as I said, we refuse to look at it from a zoomed-out perspective, because we're so limited with this artificial privilege. The privilege that, oh, but it might take my job, it might do that. And I want to tell you a story. When I quit my job at my agency, I realized that for me, AI, the biggest purpose of it is where there's limited resources, where there's lack of money, knowledge, or time, or any other resource. That's where AI can thrive. So I went on a charity nonprofit tour, visited 10 countries around Africa, and talk about AI and how they can use it to make money and scale and enhance their life. Ended up, they redefined my mind because I came to Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, and they took me to their AI center. They have this big AI center, and they told me, in our country, there's around 135 million people, something like that. There's only 3 or 4 radiologists, people who can identify breast cancer. And we're building an AI that can do that, identify breast cancer. So for us, it's saving lives. It's not about taking a job, it's about taking the job that no one else can take. And it's not because Ethiopia are lacking talent, they have perfect educations, but their talents are getting hired abroad because of the pay gap. So they come to Europe, they come to UK, they come to the US. So not only do we hire the talents, and then we buy their minerals for peanuts, and then we underpay the workers in Kenya to filter through toxic messages to train our LLMs, and then we build this beautiful thing that can help them and create global equality, and we're like, yeah, but it might not be the best thing for me. It might not be the best thing for me. And we need to zoom out from our own perspective and see that this world is way bigger than where we are standing right now. But we also don't have to zoom out too much, because even in our country, in our city, I promise you, there are restaurants, there are pizzerias, there are barbershops, there are companies that are lacking either money, time, or knowledge, where AI can help them and feed their families and help them employ more people and grow and become bigger and better. But we tend to look from our own perspective. That's why when we invite people to panels to talk about AI, we invite the best copywriter of the world. What do you think? Is this better than you at copywriting? No. Try inviting someone who's not the best at something. They actually appreciate it. And now we're entering another stage, like it's simultaneously happening, and this streaming era, as long as we have internet, it's gonna continue. We're gonna stream robotics, whatever, but we're gonna stream initiative. Basically what it means is there will be an AI that tells you like, hey, I can see you haven't been at your barber for like 4 or 5 weeks, and there's a slot in your calendar at 4 p.m. on Friday, and your barber is available. Do you want me to book that time for you? Yes. I see some faces, they're like, oof, that's a bit intrusive. But it's intrusive based on our previous perspective of what privacy is. But the next generation are not going to think that. For them, it's going to be like, you used to do that by yourself? Caveman? Because that's how it is. We keep pushing the limits and redefining ourselves and redefine our systems. But the problem is sometimes we wait a bit too long to do that. And it's a really important thing to start, just pause a little bit before being critical, like, but I saw that the video is not AI actually. Like, think about a future where, what happens when we can't see that? What can I do? What is my purpose? Where do I fit in this calculation? And it gets me to question, like, what exactly is intelligence? Because everyone's saying it's not smart enough, it's not smart. But what exactly is intelligence? Because I could imagine before electricity, intelligence must have been knowing how to set up a fire, or knowing how to cook food or store food so it doesn't go bad, right? If you knew how to do that, you could lead people. You could lead a whole tribe. Then electricity came, and we got a stove, we got a fridge. I don't need to know that. Those experts on setting up fire, like nobody called them and said like, hey, can you set up a fire? Like no, now we don't really know that. Some people know, of course, but that's not a common knowledge anymore to know how to set up a fire, how to hunt or do those things. Because we built a new definition of intelligence where knowledge, and he studied at Harvard, he can quote that book, he read that, and that's not a bad thing because we built our whole society on the power of knowledge. And that's why I know that the Western world is so afraid of AI, is because it challenges our whole identity that we built the whole system around education, and that this knowledge is power is getting challenged when you can stream knowledge in the future. So what is it then? And does it mean that we are getting dumber? Because AI, we will stop thinking? I saw that study, right? And I agree. We're getting dumber. But that's not a bad thing, because I would argue that before electricity, if they were made studies, people would have said, oh, electricity is going to make us dumber. And it made me dumber, because I don't know how to set up a fire. I can promise everyone in this room, if electricity went out today, I would die within a month. I have no survival instincts when it comes to those kind of things. But we can rely on electricity. We never think about it. Back in the days, they were like, I saw a headline, it was like, no loving parent would bring in electricity and the crime tech to their home. Like, we were always afraid of new things. And the same things are being said about AI, but we will live in a future where we will not be able to survive a month without AI, and we can rely on it the same way we relied on electricity. And whether we like that or not, it's inevitable, because we've opened that box. So we're not actually getting dumber. We're getting dumber from the perspective where we have our current knowledge, what intelligence is. But we need to form a new definition of it. That's where we redefine ourselves and be like, maybe the new intelligence is resilience. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's being able to take action or direct these AIs. I don't know, critical thinking might be a good bet, but knowing the new intelligence is you can redefine yourself and be like, because I'm the first one in line to go. I built my whole career on my knowledge and creativity. Nobody will ask me for an opinion in the future. I need to redefine myself. So this is therapy for me. And that's why when I do my tour, where I've written my book and everything, I name it AI or Die. It's not that, and everyone's like, oh, am I gonna die? No, you're not dying, but it's about adapting or being adapted. Thank you.